Welcome to the 103rd Annual Commencement Ceremony of Marywood University. My name is Lori Swanchak, and I am the Dean of the College of Health and Human Services. The stage party will soon process into the tented area. Prior to their arrival, allow me to review with you some useful information needed throughout this ceremony. It is imperative that all graduates be seated in their area designated by their program or major, as the graduates will be individually recognized by these department classifications. Faculty marshals will assist at the appropriate time in the moving of students to the stage. Students are asked to utilize hand sanitizer prior to moving to the stage. Hand sanitizer can be found on your seats and is available at sanitizing stations located at the edge of the stage. Students must bring their name and degree card to the stage. Immediately upon stepping onto the stage, present your degree card to your respective faculty member who will read your name and applicable honors. Graduates will then move to center stage to receive their diploma cover from the president and pause for a professional photo. Please note, those who have earned master's and bachelor degrees will only receive a diploma cover today. For August 2020 and January 2021 graduates, your diplomas were sent following the January graduation date to the mailing address on file for you, so you should have received your degree. For May graduates, your diplomas will be processed and mailed to you at the address that we have on file for you within 4 weeks from today. For August graduates, you will receive your diploma by mail at the address on file for you following the successful completion of your degree requirements after the August graduation date. Finally, a few courtesy requests. All guests are asked to remain in their seats throughout the duration of the ceremony. To allow all guests to hear the names of their respective graduates, we ask that you wait to clap until all graduates have crossed the stage. At the conclusion of the ceremony, all students and guests should remain in their seats until the stage party has left the tent. Following the ceremony, all guests are asked to remain masked and socially distant. Please enjoy the commencement ceremony with your friends and loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand, as it is my privilege to welcome the President's Party to the stage. We welcome Dr. Aaron Sadlak, Grand Marshal, Father Joseph Elston, Chaplain, Mrs. Catherine Caterino Gerard, Representative of the Marywood Alumni Association, Dr. Christina Clark, Provost, Sister Ellen Maroney, IHM, President of the Congregation of the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Lisa Laurie, Esquire, Chair of the Marywood Board of Trustees. And Sister Mary Persico, IHM, President of Marywood University.
do it without music if I need to.
Sure.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, on this great day of celebration, let us pray. Loving God, it is so good for us to be together this day to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2021 of Marywood University. In these times that have challenged our resolve, wounded our spirits, and broken our hearts, we celebrate this day the power that you, O God, plant within us to overcome adversity, to recreate our world, and in the midst of darkness, to bring hope, light, and life through our openness to your abiding presence. As we lift up to you in prayer our graduates, we give thanks. We thank you, O God, for parents, for families, and all those who have nurtured and cared for our graduates and have sustained them along the way. We thank you for the educational experience built on the foundation of our Catholic faith and imbued with the spirit of the sisters, servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, an educational experience that has challenged growth in mind and spirit and has the power to endure in hearts forever. We thank you for teachers, for colleagues and friends who have walked the journey with our graduates and who have helped to make them who they are this day. We thank you for the gift of our faith that gives us hope amid the joys and disappointments of life. And we thank you, O God, for our graduates, for the gift of their lives, for all that they have achieved, and for their openness to your presence. We pray that they will attend to their life's work with integrity, grounded in a deep belief in you, O God, and a profound respect for the lives that you weave into their own. May they always be committed to the pursuit of knowledge, and in an age fraught with anger and division, may they dedicate themselves to the gospel value of servant leadership. Walk with them this day, O God, into a new chapter of their lives. May the perseverance that has brought them to this moment carry them forth to build a world marked by peace, justice, and compassion beyond measure, while always mindful of your grace and presence abiding within their hearts. Amen.
Attorney Lisa Laurie and members of the Board of Trustees, President Sister Mary Persico, administration, deans, faculty, parents, family, and friends, and most especially you, the distinguished members of the Marywood University class of 2021. After a year like no other, it is a special honor and joy for me to stand before you today, representing the Marywood University Corporation members and all the sisters servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the founding and sponsoring congregation of this wonderful university. On their behalf, I congratulate each of you, our graduates, your parents, and all those who helped make this day a possible one for you. This truly is a day of gratitude and rejoicing by all. I want to take a moment, first of all, to acknowledge very specially all the administrators, faculty, and staff who day in and day out witness the IHM charism by how they live and serve each of you. I'd also like to thank and congratulate Sister Mary for her vision, her energy, her dedication, and her willingness to serve this wonderful institution. Thank you, Sister Mary. Throughout this past year, you, the members of the class of 2021, have demonstrated enormous dedication, courage, creativity, flexibility, patience, and yes, sense of humor in order to get to this very special moment. Few classes have had to overcome the challenges you have faced. I am quite certain that the Marywood University class of 2021 will not be defined by what was lost to the virus, but how you steadfastly responded to it, and that your experiences and learnings will lead you to create a brand new normal for our world, one that is more kind, beautiful, tender, and loving. That was the dream of our IHM sisters who founded this university over 100 years ago. While those founding sisters died long before any of you set foot on this beautiful campus, you were in their minds when they were inspired to build this university. You have inherited their dream, my fellow graduates. You are standing on the shoulders of those founding sisters. We are entrusting you with the living charism built on faith, passion, trust, and commitment. It is now in your capable hands and hearts to see that it is given new expression in today's world and in the next one to come. So congratulations, graduates, and thank you for having enriched all of our lives by your presence among us, and for taking with you the inspiration and legacy of Marywood University. For that truly will be the measure of your future success and ours. May your lives be filled with goodness and laughter, and your hearts with hope and joy. May God's blessings go with you today and sustain you all the days of your lives. Amen. Thank you.
Good morning. As chair of the Marywood University Board of Trustees, I am delighted to welcome all of you, those of you here in person today and those of you who are joining us remotely. It's my great privilege to welcome the members of the Marywood University Corporation, my fellow trustees of the university, Sister Mary Persico, Reverend clergy, revered sisters, university officers, members of the faculty, staff, administration, students, and alumni. And I am especially delighted to welcome our most esteemed guests, the class of 2021. Congratulations. And let's take a moment to acknowledge with gratitude those who have supported you in this journey, your friends, your family, the faculty, your mentors, by giving them a round of applause. Graduates, today we celebrate you and your achievements. You know, commencement signifies the beginning of something. Well, this is your commencement. This is your beginning. And we cheer each and every one of you as you journey to even greater success. So on behalf of the Marywood University Board of Trustees, I offer each and every one of you in the class of 2021 my warmest congratulations.
Good day to all. I'm Dr. Christina Clark, Provost of Marywood University, and it is my distinct pleasure to be with you here today. I'm delighted to introduce and to pay tribute to our principal speaker, who will address us via a recorded message. We are truly grateful for his willingness to share his insights with the class of 2021. So, on this 15th day of May, 2021, Marywood University is pleased to honor Stephen Karam for his award-winning and critically acclaimed work as a playwright and, more recently, as a screenwriter. Born and raised just a few blocks away from Marywood, Mr. Karam's small-town upbringing would later influence his writing. After graduating from Brown University, he became an apprentice at the world-famous Utah Shakespeare Festival. In 2006, he co-wrote a play titled Columbinus, which became his first professional production when it was produced by the New York Theater Workshop. He still held a regular day job and continued working on his plays on the side before making a name for himself as a full-fledged playwright. Now, the kid from Green Ridge is a Tony Award-winning author of The Humans, Sons of the Prophet, and Speech and Debate. Mr. Karam has received 2 Drama Critics Circle Awards for Best Play and an Obie Award for his work, and he is a 2-time finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, as well as the recipient of the inaugural Horton Foote Playwriting Award, the inaugural Sam Norkin Drama Desk Award, 2 Outer Critics Circle Awards, a Lucille Lortel Award, Drama League Award, and Hull Warrener Award. Additionally, he recently directed his first feature film, and he teaches graduate playwriting courses at the New School in New York City. It is fitting, therefore, that Marywood University, whose mission of educational excellence in the liberal arts tradition is long-standing, should salute Stephen Karam, whose life and energies have been spent devoted to these pursuits.
I'm excited to be with you today and celebrate your achievements. After an uncanny year, new forms of learning, and more Zooms than you ever anticipated, you did it. I want to congratulate the graduates from 10 different countries and 30 different states, and also family and friends, faculty and staff, and the entire Marywood community. My mother was a Marywood graduate 50 years ago, as are many relatives and friends, so addressing this community has special meaning for me. I grew up a few blocks from the Arch, and the campus itself feels like an extension of my backyard. It's hard to remember a day where there wasn't a walk or a bike ride through campus, casting weird reflections of myself in the mirrors of the Shield Center, piano lessons with Sister Joan Paskert, and sneaking an occasional yodel in the rotunda while my mom was running an errand on campus. Part of me thinks I'm not old enough to give a commencement address. The other part thinks of hours spent in Marywood's old library, no longer in existence, printing microfiche copies of theater articles. Microfiche felt high-tech to me at the time, so suffice to say, I am old enough to give this speech. Now that I'm a teacher myself, I tell my students that the best stories they can write are the ones that only they could write, to focus on their own quirks, obsessions, their loves. So I'll take my own advice and frame this short reflection with my own obsession and love of stories. Good storytelling requires 2 simple gazes: the ability to gaze inward and reflect on personal experience, and the ability to gaze outward to be curious about the experiences of others. Holding both is essential. It creates a meaningful haze of gray area, ambiguity, and some mystery. This dual gaze has been instrumental in helping me create fictional stories, but also in guiding me through real life after college. My obsession with stories kicked off when I saw my sister's production of Little Shop of Horrors at North Scranton Intermediate School. I like that you couldn't neatly categorize any of the characters as all good or all bad. Seymour was a nerdy orphan, capable of great kindness, but also capable of killing people and feeding them to a man-eating plant. There were multiple complex truths at play. Two things could be true at the same time. I love that. Art does this so well. It can hold competing ideas at once because art's job is just to tell the truth, whereas in an arena like politics, there needs to be a clear winner. F. Scott Fitzgerald seems to appreciate the difficulty and essential nature of competing notions when he said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." Scrantonians have a leg up on this, I'd wager. We know how to thrive in a purple state. We're used to having strong beliefs and living beside others who don't see things the same way we do. If you're thinking, don't talk to us about gray area and ambiguity, we've survived college during a pandemic, please give a speech full of concrete, incontestable wisdom. The opposing ideas at play right here now are, one, I want to be authentic, and two, I have been flipping through viral TikToks, wondering if I could get away with a listicle like, here are 3 ways to ensure every graduate lives a perfect, happy life with unlimited prosperity and wealth forever. Obviously, I can't do a list like that with a straight face, but I can hone in on 4 practical ways I search for meaning and authenticity in my stories, and how those 4 ideas might help you process your own life story. But first, potentially useful observation, your story can change. I wish I had an easier understanding of this when I was younger. It is entirely normal to set out on a planned path only to encounter unforeseen swerves, to be thwarted. A lot of my 20s, I was anxious about nailing down answers to where will I live? Where will I be in 5 years? Why did I major in English? Should I get a PhD in English? Uncertainty didn't feel good. During my 9 years of assorted day jobs, from legal assistant to working Citibank promotions, I ran from gray area. Life was chaotic, so I avoided complex truths in favor of neater, less honest answers. Maybe you've occasionally felt like a broken record as you say for the millionth time to inquiring adults, I'm a business major and I'll go into accounting. I'm in communications and I will pursue broadcast journalism. It's not that your journey won't go as planned, for many it does, but if your narrative doesn't unfold neatly, that's not an ominous sign. That's not even failure. That's life. I wish I'd been less afraid of the in-between zones of life. No one told me that the moments where you're trying to get somewhere that makes more sense, those moments are a lot of life. If I knew this in my 20s, instead of being irked by the ambiguity of it all, when asked what I do for a living, I might have said with less stress, I'm a legal assistant who sometimes dresses in a blue jumpsuit to work at Citibank promotional raffle, but what I really want to do is write for the theater. That is a horrible pickup line, but I would have felt liberated to tell something resembling the truth. My second hope for you, make time for the things you love. In the midst of doing responsible things like setting up a Roth IRA and Googling, what is a Roth IRA? You'll notice that life has an endless supply of worthwhile distractions. Setting up a new home, showing up for someone in your life who needs extra care. It's normal to get carried far away from your passions, from the stuff that fills you up. Sometimes your joys will be fully merged with your job and how you earn money, but if you find yourself in a gray zone where you're only partially fulfilled by your career or not at all, keep asking yourself, what are the no-brainer loves of my life? What do I turn to at the end of the most tedious, cold, lonely day when the whole world feels broken? A sport I no longer play, crocheting, fixing cars. Do those things. Get better at those things. Let those things lead you to other things. When you're tuned into what you love, the no-brainer loves, you'll be less tuned in to what others think you should be interested in, and more in sync with what you want for your story. My third hope for you, stay curious about stuff you don't know a lot about, but want to know more about. Formal education gives great structure and wonderful steps to building skill sets, but unofficial learning, spending time exploring what motivates you, it's nourishing in ways that you will be surprised by. I was always curious about movie making, but never studied it. However, I cannot remember a time I wasn't making home movies in my bedroom with friends and Legos. In 8th grade, I adapted an Edgar Allan Poe short story into a short film with my East Scranton Intermediate School classmates. In the climactic scene, I buried my friend alive using cardboard bricks from my sister's kitchen playset. I planned this obsessively, and because it was the past and I lacked editing tools or a computer, we lugged my parents' heavy VHS camera all over the place and had to shoot the entire thing in order until it was right. This is to say, I've always been obsessed with filmmaking, but until last year when I directed my first film, I had a problem. I'd established my story and my career, my whole life as a writer. So I'd forgotten that stories can change, and so it took me almost 25 years to connect the dots from burying my friend alive with Barbie bricks on VHS to step into a new part of the story. I was 25 years deep into being too scared to fail. And let's talk briefly about fear of failure. In the same way it is liberating to name your obsessions, your true loves, both obvious and secret, it can be liberating to name your fears. If you don't name your fears, I have bad news. They're gonna find you anyway, and in that scenario, there's still some good news. Colliding with your fears head on is liberating. I don't want to be treacly here. Facing your fears is not fun. Not once have I enjoyed the reality of loss of love in my life, or the death of a loved one, or loss of health, or coping with public creative failure. Even coming out of the closet was terrifying. But Ms. Microfiche here is just old enough to say with confidence that the pain you'll experience in those terrifying moments, when you come out the other side of them, the cliches are true, you'll have grown more than you could have otherwise. You'll feel more free, your story more complex. My fourth hope for you is that you'll think more about zooming out. You'll develop the muscle that helps you see a bigger picture when you feel trapped or stuck in a given moment. Zoom out of your creative process, zoom out of your life planning, your dinner planning, your Roth IRA planning, and try to see the picture from above. This is a tough muscle to develop, as everybody's own day-to-day drama is plenty to deal with. Looking outside yourself might be harder than ever because we've all got computers in our hands that reward us for being obsessed with ourselves. And look, I keep saying two things can be true at the same time. So by all means, take a hot mirror selfie today. Let the people know you graduated and looked good. But then, alongside the dopamine hits from the meaningful Instagram comments you'll be receiving, such as looking good and perhaps the flame emoji, also hold on to how critical and meaningful it is to step outside of yourself. I say the following in shock. All of our grandparents and parents and priests and sisters and rabbis and teachers were right. Doing things as small as the thank you notes, volunteering, being a good neighbor, showing up for those you love, it's not fake good for you. It has lasting outsized rewards. I have never regretted connecting to community. I have only regretted not doing those things more. The fun way to zoom out is through art. With art, it's not work, you do it unconsciously. As James Baldwin put it, you think your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. All of the things that feel enormous to you, intangibly huge, immeasurable, overwhelming. An artist has written about this, danced about this, painted this, suffered this either 1,000 years ago and 1,000 miles away, or most definitely in 1994 in Marywood's Performing Arts Center when I danced for my salvation in The Nutcracker, in the unmemorable role as a parent, although there was something memorable about me being 15 with mild acne and being paired with a wife who was middle-aged. I digress. Art zooms us out without even trying. It connects you to your own story by making you think about other people's. So it seems fitting to end with a story. Chekhov wrote a short one called The Student. Little on the nose, I know, bear with me. In the story, a young seminary student is having a very bad day. He is on a boring, cold walk alone. His fingers are numb, his face is burning from the wind. He's in a bad mood. It's also Good Friday, so the whole world felt broken. The student ends up stopping by a widow's house to warm himself by a fire, and as he warms his hands, he starts thinking about how, on this Good Friday, more than 1,000 years ago, maybe the Apostle Peter also warmed himself by a fire on that cold night. And so he starts to tell the old woman about the night Peter denied knowing Christ 3 times, and how after the 3rd time, Peter went out of the courtyard and wept bitterly. And the student looks up to see the widow is crying herself. She's sobbing. The student is shocked. His story has had this effect on the woman, and he never learns precisely why she's crying. It remains a bit of a mystery. Chekhov only lets us into how her reaction affects him. Quote, obviously, what he had just told her, something that had taken place 19 centuries ago, had a relationship to the present. The past, the student thought, is connected with the present in an unbroken chain of events flowing one out of the other. And it seemed to him that he had just seen both ends of that chain. He touched one end and the other moved. He kept thinking about how the truth and beauty that had guided human life there in Peter's garden and in the high priest's courtyard went on unbroken to this day, and evidently had always been the main thing in human life and generally on earth. And a feeling of youth, health, strength, he was only 22, and an inexpressibly sweet anticipation of happiness, an unknown, mysterious happiness, gradually came over him, and life seemed to him delightful, wondrous, and filled with lofty meaning. This is not considered one of Chekhov's greatest short stories, but I love it for its simplicity. The same student out on a solitary, freezing, miserable walk ends up finishing the journey feeling totally different. Physically, he's still alone and freezing, but he feels connected, hopeful. His worst day has become his best day. No overly tidy lesson in this or any of my favorite stories, and hopefully none here. My best writing results from meditating on questions I can't answer. My greatest, sweetest, most ineffable highs have come from accepting mystery. But I want you to know with absolute certainty that as you start down your varied paths, even if at times the journey turns cold, unsteady, gloomy, and solitary, that same path holds constant potential to inspire feelings of deep connection, delight, wonder, and being part of a bigger story filled with lofty meaning. Congratulations.
Thank you, Stephen. If you are watching, we are deeply appreciative of your message. And the good thing about Stephen's message is that if you want to listen to it again, you can just simply click on a link somewhere in the next few days and you can hear his message again. It's great to live in the present day. Now, all of you who are here, I want you to think about something. You witnessed about a half hour ago the grit, the excellence, and the determination of what a Marywood student can do. If you're chosen to be the singer of the national anthem and the music doesn't come on, what do you do? So I say to Michael, what do you think? And he says, I can do it without the music. And it was perfect. Thank you, Michael. That's what it means to be a Marywood student and a Marywood alumni, which you are soon to become. So, greetings to all those people who have been greeted in the earlier comments by those who preceded me in speaking this morning. And I would like to offer a few of my own remarks. Before doing that, I'd like you to do something. I know our board chair, Lisa Laurie, asked you to thank those who are responsible for your education. But I want you to think about 2 people. You were allowed to bring 2 people to this commencement service ceremony. And they must be very important people and special people to you if you were to invite them. I want you to turn to them now and thank them for all that they have done for you. Without them, you wouldn't be here today. And so, I have some thoughts that I would like to share with you. In 2012, the Taliban in northwestern Pakistan attempted to assassinate a young schoolgirl by the name of Malala Yousafzai as she was riding home from school on a school bus. Malala, as she is known today, survived the attack after several operations and has since dedicated her life to fighting for the right to education for women around the world. At the age of 16, Malala spoke to the United Nations. At age 17, she became the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Today, she is 23 years old. We first heard of David Hogg in 2018 when he survived the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting and immediately rose to prominence as an activist for gun control. David spoke at the youth-led March for Our Lives peaceful protest in Washington, D.C. in March following the shooting. He was named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people of that year. Today, he is 21 years old. Naomi Osaka, tennis great of Japan, defeated champion Serena Williams in the Australian Open in February of this year. Subsequently, she was named the 2021 Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year and was ranked #1 by the Women's Tennis Association. All proceeds from the masks designed by Naomi and her sister were sent to benefit UNICEF's COVID-19 relief funds. Today, Naomi is 23 years old. Greta Thunberg was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2019. In December 2018, she spoke at the United Nations Climate Changing Conference in Poland. This young Swedish woman became famous for challenging the world leaders on the subject of climate change, even going Twitter to Twitter with the former President of the United States. Today, she is 18 years old. Malala, David, Naomi, Greta, how are their lives different from yours? I have observed you, and the answer to the question is this: the only thing that differentiates them from you is fame. And as we all find out sooner or later, fame is fleeting. This is who you are. These are some thoughts about what the students across the College of Health and Human Services have done in the past year. In the midst of a global pandemic, unlike any other health crisis the world has experienced in a century, as PA and nursing students, you vaccinated more than 5,000 persons from this region. As CSD students, you effectively transitioned to teletherapy in order to ensure continued speech and language service to those in the community in need of this assistance. You also supported frontline workers by sending thousands of holiday cards to sites such as St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and many local sites. As psych and counseling students, you adopted families during Thanksgiving and figured out how to stock the Pacer pantry throughout the year. As nutrition and dietetics students, you created an educational podcast entitled Nutrition Untangled to offer ways of coping and dealing with food insecurity during challenging days. As students in the School of Social Work, you found a variety of ways to hold blood drives, support local food shelters, safe houses, and food pantries. And as students of the Athletic Training and Exercise Science program, you participated in the Camp Archibald cleanup so that area youth can safely return to summer activities and fun. And that, my friends, is the short list of all the things you have done. This is the part of your graduation ceremony where I exhort you to live the core values of Marywood University. Obviously, concepts such as service, excellence, and empowerment are already deeply rooted within you and in the graduates of the other colleges of this university who have had similar experiences in their own fields of expertise. And here's where I tell you that you will surely meet life's challenges in the years to come. Ironically, that has already happened in ways that graduates in times gone by have never known at this juncture of their lives. As we move beyond a world event that deprived you of many personal joys and social experiences, we see glimpses, more than glimpses, of hope in a generation of people, your generation, known as Gen Z. We see those glimpses of hope in you and in your peers. You have already demonstrated that you can lead, that you believe in the principle of the common good, and that the values of Catholic social thought taught here at Marywood have guided your actions. It's not a secret that people in this world need other people like Malala, David, Naomi, Greta, and you, the Marywood University graduates of the class of 2021. I encourage you, if you have not already done so, gather with your family and friends to watch your graduation liturgy, which was recorded last week in the Marywood Chapel. You have received the link, and it's on our website. During this liturgy, as we prayed for you, our chaplain, Father Elston, reflected upon the gospel passage that reads, "You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world." During these past years, while you were here with us, especially this one, you have been our light. We will never forget you. We will speak of you, your class this year, long into the future. Do not regret what you have lost. Rejoice in what you have gained. One other Gen Zer, Amanda Gorman, wrote, "For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." You are brave enough. Congratulations. We will miss you. We have loved you. Farewell, and God bless you. Today we gather to bestow degrees upon candidates from the College of Health and Human Services. And so I ask our Dean, Dr. Lori Swanchak, do you formally present these candidates to me for the conferral of degrees?
I do.
She said, I do. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of Pennsylvania and the Marywood University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer the following degrees: Master of Science, Master of Social Work, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Social Work, upon the candidates presented to me by the Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, and admit them to said degrees, and do proclaim them sons and daughters of the university forever.
At this time, faculty members from each department will introduce the graduates of their departments as they come forward to receive their degrees. Our first reader today is Miss Andrea Novak, Communication Sciences and Disorders Department.
Thank you, Dean Swanchak. As she just mentioned, my name is Andrea Novak. I am the Associate Professor of Practice and the Chairperson in the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders. Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduates of the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders. Brooke Natalie Reiner, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Emily Salvatierra, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Lauren Ann Mikhailo, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Madison Paige Horwath, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Carly Alexa Arnold, Bachelor of Science. Christine Lillian Llewellyn, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Alexandra Ramirez, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Andrew Robert Montgomery, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Paige Lynette Bell, Bachelor of Science. Nicole Joan Sheridan, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Maggie Elizabeth Carter, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Brielle Lynn Peters, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Kojista Azizi, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Laura Elizabeth Farley, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Maeve Catherine McKenna, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Melissa Rose Filardi, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Brianna Malia, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Maya Rosemary LaSalle, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Sydney Teresa Coughlin, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Emily Gail Fell, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Sneha Varghese, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Valerie Tassi, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Marcela Ileana Rodriguez, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Megan Marie Mercanti, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Mary Alyssa Wisniewski, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Elizabeth M. Perkowski, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Lily Christine Teeple, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Caitlin Marie Kimes, Bachelor of Science. Catherine Sophia Yoakum, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Caitlin Suzanne McNabb, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Mara Elizabeth Lunny, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Ashley Marie Foz, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Kelsey Elizabeth Killeen, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Gabrielle Elizabeth Wygaleski, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Gwendolyn K. McGinnis, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Anne Marie Johnson, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Catherine Ann Dearborn, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Anna Marie Gelpke, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Erica Marie Thomas, Master of Science, Speech-Language Pathology. Cassandra Marie Senkow, Master of Science, Speech Language Pathology. Rebecca Teresa Jusky, Master of Science, Speech Language Pathology. Antonia Russo, Master of Science, Speech Language Pathology. Peyton J. Reynolds, Master of Science, Speech Language Pathology. I now welcome Dr. Deborah Hoken, Associate Dean of the College of Health and Human Services.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present you the graduates of the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. Mitchell David Romanowski, Bachelor of Science. Christina Laudiseo, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Jessica Kozlowski, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science, recipient of the Schaefer Medal for Nutrition and Dietetics. Leah Pollock, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Carrie Ann Snyder, Bachelor of Science. Sarah Harley, Bachelor of Science. Annie Elizabeth Hayen, Citation and Honors, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science, recipient of the St. Catherine Medal. Sienna M. Sen, Bachelor of Science. Shannon Graham, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Spencer King, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Michaela Smith, Bachelor of Science. Adriana M. Vasquez, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Darlyn Rose Alpert, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Rebecca Tran, Master of Science Nutrition. Dana James, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Marissa Juliana Mangolia, Master of Science Nutrition. Christina L. Savath, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Isabel Ann Mahalik, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Chloe Grace Wiggins, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Alexi Rachel Michaels, Master of Science Nutrition. Amanda Amendal, Master of Science Sports Nutrition and Exercise Science. Sarah J. Pagnelia, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Tessa Marie Breslanden, Master of Science Nutrition. Caitlin Ann Sebastian, Master of Science Nutrition. Jenna Nicole Gambetta, Master of Science Nutrition. Laura Marie Kurtz, Master of Science Nutrition. Maya Catherine Yoder, Master of Science Nutrition. Thank you. Megan Sarah Bell, Master of Science Sports Nutrition and Exercise Science. Logan T. Whitfield, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Amanda Jo Samroni, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Lauren Nicole Walczyk, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Carrie Ann Shaw Hosman, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Holland Page Ford, Master of Science, Nutrition. Jennifer Ann Howell, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Sarah Elizabeth Hayes, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Sui Fei Ho Elizabeth Sta Suli, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Claudia Grace DeSanctis, Master of Science, Nutrition. Brianna Marie Lawless, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Zoe Nicole Lopez, Master of Science, Nutrition. Thank you. Amy Burge, Master of Science, Sports Nutrition and Exercise Science. I now welcome to the podium Ms. Leah Doherty, Bachelor's Social Work Department.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduates of the Bachelor of Social Work. Chastity DeLawrence, Bachelor of Social Work. Michael Patrick Carone, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Social Work. Laura Nicole McCaig, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Social Work, the recipient of the Jenkin Cullis Gilroy Medal for Excellence in Undergraduate Social Work and the Kappa Gamma Pi Medal for General Excellence. Sandy Diane Castillo, cum laude, Bachelor of Social Work. Jessica Margarita Ramos, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Social Work. Simona Antonia Zambrano, cum laude, Bachelor of Social Work. Hold on one second. I now welcome Christina Gigler, Director of the Masters of Social Work Program, Lehigh Valley, to the podium.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduates of the School of Social Work Master of Social Work degree. Caitlin Melendez, Master of Social Work. Stacey Ann Shanique Downs, Master of Social Work. Paulina Alyssa Santabenez, Master of Social Work. Lindsay B. Cameron, Master of Social Work. Jordan Ann Herzog, Master of Social Work. Emily Ellis, Master of Social Work. Samantha Snyder, Master of Social Work. Stephen M. Niscoda, Master of Social Work. Nicole Laura Lewis, Master of Social Work. Jennifer Higgins, Master of Social Work. Michelle Handy, Master of Social Work. Erin Anderson, Master of Social Work. Alyssa Legiri, Master of Social Work. Andrea Nicole Dennis, Master of Social Work. Marissa Lee Iannelli, Master of Social Work. Lindsay Shapolsky, Master of Social Work. Daniel Phillips, Master of Social Work, the recipient of the Geffen Medal for Outstanding Performance in Practicum Education. Taylor Amanda Williams, Master of Social Work. Nicole Mary Wolfgang, Master of Social Work. Carolina Tinio, Master of Social Work. Kaylee Rose McCooey, Master of Social Work. Maritza Cajamarca, Master of Social Work. I now welcome Dr. Lynn Hutchings, Director from the Central Pennsylvania Program, School of Social Work, Master's degree.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduates of the School of Social Work Central PA MSW program. Caitlin Elizabeth Houseknecht, Master of Social Work. Lisa Marie Musser, Master of Social Work. Melissa Ann Sauger, Master of Social Work. Carly G. Kuhns, Master of Social Work. Irene Jaglowski, Master of Social Work and recipient of the Sister M. Eva Connors Peace Medal. Tiana Kobelis, Master of Social Work. Shashi Dahan, Master of Social Work. Melena Elizabeth Crum, Master of Social Work. Leanne R. Van Buskirk Orcott, Master of Social Work. Lisa Marie Medvets, Master of Social Work. I now welcome Sister Angela Kim, Director of the School of Social Work, to the podium.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduate of the Scranton Master of Social Work program. Marissa Noel Petrie, Master of Social Work. Danielle Nicole Briston, Master of Social Work. Audra Francis Nealon, Master of Social Work, the recipient of a Polizzi Medal of Scholarship and Community Service. Caleb Postlin, Master of Social Work. Queen Parker Masola, Master of Social Work. Brianna Smith, Master of Social Work. Courtney Elizabeth Lachlan, Master of Social Work. Noha Almusnet, Master of Social Work. Amanda Sivko, Master of Social Work. Jessica Bursky, Master of Social Work. Nicole Danielle Hanuchich, Master of Social Work. Ariel Marie McPeak, Master of Social Work. Jacqueline H. Matila, Master of Social Work. Alexandria Elizabeth Lindsay, Master of Social Work. Tamata Carey Drexel, Master of Social Work. Sharon Lovell, Master of Social Work. Lindsay Marie Lord, Master of Social Work. Gabrielle E. Stelmack, Master of Social Work. Jennifer Ann Androli, Master of Social Work. Now I welcome Dr. Leiter, Director of the Pocono Master of Social Work Program, to the podium.
Sister Mary, it is my honor to present to you the graduates of the Pocono MSW program at East Stroudsburg University. Felicia Smith Coachman. Joseph Adam Grelecki. Jason Day. Laurie L. Halterman Rodas. Stacy J. Vogler Musel. Courtney Cousins. Sylvia Suero Rodriguez. Caitlin Marie Rowe. Alexandra Aspel Robbins. Caitlin Marie Donovan. Kylie Andra Brancato. Are there any students in attendance whose names have not been called? If not, family and friends of the class of 2021, please join me in congratulating all of the graduates from the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders, the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, and the School of Social Work.
We're very proud of you and happy for this day. During the spring semester, Marywood University traditionally recognizes members of the university's faculty, administration, and staff for their distinguished years of service and commitment to our students. So at this time, I would like to publicly recognize the continued dedication of these individuals, many of whom are with us today. However, there are too many to announce for all the many years and years of service. But please, if you are one of those members who received the Year of Service recognition this year, know of our deep gratitude and appreciation for all you do to make Marywood the wonderful institution that it is. Additionally, we express our gratitude and bid farewell to several dedicated members of the Marywood University faculty and administration who are retiring after many years of faithful service, and we will celebrate them with a retirement party next month, and we look forward to doing that. But I wish to recognize them and acknowledge them at this ceremony. And finally, 2 members of the Board of Trustees retired after serving Marywood University for many years with great distinguishment. And they are Mary Ann Abrahamson and Mary Ellen McDonough. So thanks to our faculty and staff for many years of service, to our retiring faculty and administration, and to our retiring trustees. Please let's give them a hand of applause. And also, we couldn't do what we do without the valued expertise and support of our Board of Trustees and of our corporation, of whom Sister Ellen, whom you heard from earlier, is the president. We will now have an address from one of our students.
Good morning, members of the Marywood University Corporation, trustees of the university, Sister Mary Persico, Reverend clergy, revered sisters, university officers, members of the faculty, administration, and staff, parents, families, and guests, fellow students. Today, I would like to reflect on the lessons we have learned from Marywood that have shaped each of our journeys. One of the things a Marywood education has taught us is to pay attention to the details. So let me draw your attention to the programs in front of you, where you will see the Marywood seal with the motto Sanctitas, Scientia, Sanitas. For the benefit of those who have not attended Marywood the past few years, these words mean holiness, knowledge, and health. I would like to showcase how our time at Marywood has embodied this motto and helped shape us into the individuals we are today, moments away from ending one chapter in our lives to begin a new, exciting chapter. First, I would like to talk about Sanctitas, or holiness. While Marywood is a Catholic university, it welcomes students from all walks of life and all belief systems. One way in which we all show our holiness is through service for others, which is one of our core values. In January of 2020, I was fortunate enough to travel with a group of dedicated students and faculty to McAllen, Texas, through the Alternative Break Service Trip program established by campus ministry. It was there at the U.S.-Mexico border that we were able to interact with and learn firsthand from immigrants about their experience, good and bad, with crossing the border into the United States. Such trips and all other service activities that the class of 2021 has done have demonstrated the value of connection and learning from others, not only with communities that are close to home, but also those that are thousands of miles away. Marywood has given us ample opportunities to serve, teaching us the importance of selfless acts to better the lives of others, and how such acts can lead to fulfillment for ourselves as well. The second word on the seal is scientia, which means knowledge. Our Marywood education did not simply provide us with course material, assignments, and dreaded due dates. It also provided us with opportunities for growing and pushing the boundaries of what we believed we were capable of. This kind of learning happened when English professors encouraged us to take risks and be creative with our writing, when modern belief professors showed us the complexities and benefits of different worldviews, or when our social work professors inspired us to empathize with people from all backgrounds and taught us the countless ways we are able to positively impact the lives of others. Marywood professors never spoon-fed us information. While it may have been challenging at times, we were taught how to think for ourselves instead of being cookie-cutter students repeating rote lessons. When we first began our journeys at Marywood, we may have thought we knew our exact destinations, but Marywood has continuously opened new doors for us, allowed us to find our passions, and given us the knowledge we need to pursue them. The last part of Marywood's motto is Sanitas, which reflects health. This past year, dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic has been one of the greatest tests of health we have experienced as a university community. Everything we had previously known about how to function as college students and as peers was completely uprooted without much warning. And we have had to adapt to this new way of life and learning. I believe that through it all, the Marywood community has come together, socially distanced of course, to make the best of this situation. We even figured out how to make fun events like bingo COVID-friendly, and bingo, as we all know, is crucial to the Marywood experience. While this past year has not been traditional, it is certainly one to remember, as Marywood has been dedicated to ensuring our physical and mental health while still providing the college experience. We have learned to adapt to the challenges thrown our way and still figured out how to make the most of it, which is something we should all be proud of. We have worked very hard, but at the same time, we have not walked these paths alone. Our families, our friends, and everyone in the Marywood community have all walked beside us. I therefore want to take this moment to thank you all for your love and support. It has meant the world to us. Now, with feelings of excitement, pride, and even a little nervousness, we look to tomorrow and all that we will create. As we move to the next chapter, the lessons of holiness, knowledge, and health we have learned during our experience at Marywood will be the foundation for all that we will achieve. Thank you and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Caterino Gerard, and I am a member of the Marywood University Alumni Association Board of Directors. It is indeed a pleasure to be speaking to the future Marywood University Alumni Association. It isn't unusual for you to leave the ceremony with a sense of accomplishment and a feeling of uneasiness as you come to realize you're leaving Marywood behind. The Marywood Alumni Association provides the opportunity for you to continue your Marywood experience on and off campus. Marywood alumni totals over 30,000 all over the world. Connect with us via social media and share your job updates, your moves, your marriages, pet photos, and so on. Our alumni chapters will connect you with fellow alumni at events throughout the country. Volunteer, get involved, stay in touch. Your success is Marywood's success. Now it is my distinct honor and privilege to complete your transition this day, to begin your journey from students to alumni. I ask all the members of the class of 2021 to please stand. In accordance with the bylaws of the Marywood Alumni Association and by the authority vested in me by the President of the Marywood University Alumni Association, I hereby declare the class of 2021 lifelong members of the Marywood Alumni Association with all the rights and privileges according thereto. In closing, I congratulate each of you as you join your over 30,000 sisters and brothers as the sons and daughters of Marywood University forever. Let's give them all a hand of applause.
Let us pray. As we conclude this joyful day in your presence, let us do so in the knowledge of your love and protection. Although we have experienced challenging events and circumstances, your love and grace guides our minds and hearts so that we can emerge faithful friends, grateful graduates, and forever bring to the world the best of who we are and the best of who we have become. As you have nurtured these young men and women through their years at Marywood University, so now may we give thanks for their friendships, experiences, and memories that have been forged through their time among us. Let us be grateful for the generosity of their families, instructors, and all who have journeyed with them through their time spent in this most sacred and venerable place of family and faith. Let us remember all that has brought us to this day and be present to this time and place as we look confidently to the future and what is yet to be. Let us look at our lives and the many blessings we have received from your hands, O Almighty God, and give thanks to you, O Lord, that you have graced us with life, love, and family. And let us be assured of your continued blessings beyond this day as we go forth in courage, peace, and service to all who touch this world in a positive and meaningful way. Through the love and presence of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.